Captain Jake Cody not that far behind. Jairo Escobar brings up the rear, but is still playing 43 big blinds, a pretty healthy stack. Tournament average right now, 72 bigs. Obviously blinds will go up in 14 minutes time. We'll go to 600, 1200 with a 200 ante. We'll roll straight into that level with no break.
That's fun though. Enjoy those 72 big blind average stacks for the next 13 minutes. Everybody's nice and deep, like Felix Bleiker's V-neck. Perry says, hey, Stapes, my son is your biggest fan. Can I get a shout out for Georgie and Mama K? Can we go over the shout out thing again, James? What is it? He wants me to be like, hey, thanks for being a fan, Georgie, Mama K, you're the best.
That is generally what happens, yes.
Yeah, no, I don't do that.
Certainly not on a Thursday. So a raise from Stephen Thompson Vila to 2,400, a 3-bet from Aleks Dimitrov to 7,400. Action on Reiss in the big blind. So we've lost one World Series champ, Martin Jakobsen. We've got the guy who won the tournament the year before him, Reiss, still on the feature table.
Might we be needing a 4-bet alert? Oh, hell yeah.
Cold 4-bet from Reiss in the big blind. Well, the original raiser is folded. Action is now on Dimitrov, the 3-better.
Let's see, it's 12,100 to call, which is what, 1/6 of his stack around?
He'd be out of position though.
And out of, exactly. So it's a big chunk of your stack and you're out of position. So you move it in.
And he gets called, all in and a call. Dimitrov, the player at risk, but Reiss only has 2K behind. It's a virtual all-in for both players, and it is the sickest of all races.
The sickest of all races.
The classicest of all races. Queens against Ace-King. Dimitrov with the pair. Reiss with the overcards. 5 cards to come.
Like BMW versus Mercedes. Cards are what they are, guys. Don't worry.
10, 10, 4. Queens holding. Reiss with 6 outs. An ace or a king needed to eliminate Aleks Dimitrov.
Spades won't help him.
Deuce on the turn. Same outs, but only one more chance to hit.
Oh, I hate this flip.
The river card is a 5. So Queens hold, and they're just checking. We think that Reiss does have Dimitrov covered just. Reiss will be left with 2 big blinds. He will be in the extreme danger zone.
Danger zone! Oh, Ryan. First of all, we're going to need that microphone. Second of all, you got chips. Ryan.
Well, unless our
Get
counts
him.
were a little bit off.
Get him.
Obviously, just checking the counts, it could be that we had Dimitrov with fewer chips than he actually had.
Either way, we need the microphone.
Yeah, confirmed. Reiss does not still have 2,000 chips. He has no chips. He is out. Microphone returned. Goodbye, Ryan.
Dang it.
Dimitrov is up to 155,000. He's now the biggest stack in our feature table. And we're definitely going to stick with this table for at least one more level, another 75 minutes.
Digitale on Twitch asked, wasn't Jack and Queen also now? Asking because they said only 6. When we're talking about the number of outs, we're only talking about the number of outs the person has at that moment. We don't. The Jack Queen counts toward their equity, so the little percentage in there, the computer's calculated that. But we can't count Jack Queen as an out because it's not an out.
Yeah, when we publish outs, we're talking about immediate outs, cards that they can hit, which would see them take the lead immediately.
Now, if the Queen or the Jack had peeled off on the turn,
yes,
then we would have added to those outs.
What's the official language of the table, Spanish or English? Equal.
So we kind of mentioned at the start of the day that 366 is obviously a smaller field than we're used to seeing in events that we cover. And it is worth pointing out that it's been a long time since anyone's tried to run a $5,000 buy-in tournament in this part of the world, and no one really knew what to expect. It's also worth pointing out that there's a lot of events running right now. PokerStars Championships are a bit like London buses. We've waited 2 months and then they've all come along at once. Panama, Macau, Monte Carlo, Sochi that was recently announced. Because they're so close together, we physically cannot get to all of them. While we're bringing you 5 days of coverage from here in Panama, we will not be live streaming Macau. We will, however, be in Monte Carlo, and there will be a 5-day stream from Sochi. But obviously, if you do want to follow the action from the next leg of the tour from Macau, I know the blog team are going to be there. And there'll be regular updates on all the big tournaments being played in the City of Dreams.
Man, if you guys have a chance to qualify or buy into Macau, the 5 days I spent in Macau doing a previous broadcast were 5 of the best days of my life. It was awesome there.
Well, Escobar has raised and been 3-bet by Dimitrov.
What do you got, queens again, huh? What do you got, queens? It's Dabo on Twitch asks, how do you sign up to the free tournament?
The free roll. Well, I'm assuming, and that's always a dangerous thing to do, that this gentleman or lady is already a PokerStars customer.
Hopefully.
If you are not,
Playing PokerStars.
you can join for free. No problem. Just download the client from PokerStars.com. And then once you have signed up, once you've got the client on your computer, all you need to do is search in the tournament lobby, PokerStars TV, make sure there's a space in there, and you'll see today's free roll. There's 9,000 odd players already registered, and you can sign up using today's password, Balboa. It's on the screen.
It's Balboa, not Balboa, as James says.
We've got an armchair analyst on Twitter. Povak says that should have been a fold from Ryan Reiss. The 5-bet represents big pairs, too early for flip.
You know, I was wondering that same thing. I was like, man, can you really... I don't know. It seems like a flip of a flip to me.
So we got Escobar here in action against Thompson Vila, a Queen 7 deuce flop. Steven has continued for 2,800. Jairo faults. Down to 146 players now. That means a 75 big blind average. So here's the question, Joe.
Okay.
In previous events where we've had smaller fields, what some might say are more select fields, the cream has risen to the surface. I'm thinking of like Monte Carlo a few years
It really
back.
weirds me out when you say cream, but go on.
But do you think, with that in mind, with it being a smaller tournament, just like we had in Malta again a short while back, that we are going to see the more skilled players, maybe some familiar faces, make it to the late stages, make it to the final table? You
I think it's going to be a
six
lot
randoms?
of Roberto Hernandez's and Giacomo Ortega's. I don't know if we have enough of the heroes here. I don't know if the heroes are well represented enough.
Well, if you think about the fact we've got, obviously, Jake Cody on the feature table.
I will tell you who crushes in these situations, though.
Yeah.
Steve O'Dwyer.
Well, O'Dwyer and Cody are two of the names I'm thinking of because of that final table in Monte Carlo back in 2013. They're both still in. Martin Finger. He's another player who obviously has got a lot of previous big results.
Mookie88 on Twitch says, Roberto Hernandez for the win.
And let's not forget that Jason Kuhn came into play today among the chip leaders. Fonseca Masis was the pre-flop aggressor. He continues into two opponents, gets a call from one of them, that player being Lokesh Garg. 6 on the turn. 6 of diamonds, putting a flush draw out there. And with Fonseca Masis checking behind, we get a free river card, which is the 7 of clubs. Here comes Garg. We're Garg.
While we wait on Fonseca Masis's fold, which turned out not to be a wait at all.
So, we'll probably play one more hand before the blinds go up.
So we've got, there's a little bit about Macau.
Yes, because it is the third stop of the PokerStars Championship 2017 at the City of Dreams. So yeah, it kicks off very soon actually, 30th of March to 9th of April, and as Joe mentioned, you can qualify now. If you search Macau in the tournament lobby on Stars, there are still satellites for that event. Also satellites running for Monte Carlo and Sochi at the same time.
You really have your choice of any part of the world that you want to go to.
Yeah.
We're in Central America now. You want to go to Europe? Fine. Go to Monaco. You want to go to Eastern Europe? What is Russia even considered? Eastern Europe? It's like its own thing, right? Eurasia? Go to Sochi. You want to go to regular old Asia? Macau. Lots of discussion happening right now on Twitch over that hand, the Ryan Reiss flip hand.
Oh, yeah. Is this inspired by Povac's analysis that
Yes.
it should have been a fold?
You're a donkey says stacking off Ace King is fine. Relax, analysts. I am Den says hard for Reiss to fold Ace King after the 4-bet, especially when you consider he has blockers to aces and kings. I did.
Agreed.
I definitely agree that once you 4-bet, you're fairly committed there. And finally, Tsunami says, I agree, though, that Ace-King is more of a gray area than many believe. It is still a hand that has at least around a 50-50 chance against almost all hands. I'm not really sure if that's completely accurate. However, you know, I think that you're in just about the same shape against 2 4s as you are against 2 queens. And yes, with the blockers of aces and kings, it's going to be very unlikely you're up against one of those 2 hands.
Well, let's pick up the action here. 3 players have gone to the turn. Jake Cody was the pre-flop aggressor. He did not continue flop. And he's going to fold to this bet on the turn. 3,500 from Garg. Well, Bleiker's going to call. We're heads up to the river. And that river card is the 5 of diamonds. One thing I will say is the pace of play at this table has been swift.
Solid. Yeah.
Check, check. Garg says, I have nothing. Just queen high. A pair of sixes for Bleiker will see him win this pot. That will bring level 9 to an end. The blinds roll on. We're playing level 10. 600, 1200, 200 ante.
New level. 200 ante. 620.
Well, now I have no idea how many big blinds everybody has. 600, 1200. Can you even divide 1200 into some? Not really, unless it's like 120,000. Does that nobody? Okay, so Lokesh Garg has 128,000, so he's got like around 100 big blinds. Wow, so much discussion going on Twitch still. Like Senny here. Now, I think this is some analysis you can appreciate, Matt. Why the Beast put his tourney on a AK off on a 4-bet bluff? For me, it's like a free roll decision in my point. Why? That's surely what his brain tell him right now, lol.
I mean, I couldn't have put it better. I mean, that really, for me, that really solidifies probably what we're all thinking.
Well, oftentimes poker strat talk comes out sounding, you know, like gibberish to me, so I could barely follow that. But you're saying that your analytical poker mind gets what Senny was going for there.
Do you know what? It was almost like it was so clear to me that it became more of a smell than a sound. I just some instinctive,
like an innate sense,
like a primeval part of me just understood what was being said, even though the actual sounds you were making were pure gibberish. Anyway, hello everybody.
Senny, I'm having some fun with what you wrote there. Clearly, English is not your first language. We appreciate your contribution. I guarantee you, my thoughts in your language will be far less coherent.
To be honest, your thoughts in most languages are pushing it pretty close to the edge. But may I just add my hellos and welcomes to everyone. Hope you're enjoying this, our first day of coverage from Panama, which I am also struggling to not constantly walk around the house singing. Spent about 2 weeks before actually leaving for this trip just constantly singing that song. If you don't know, go and look it up. It's a classic from the David Lee Roth pre-Sammy Hagar days of Van Halen, when Lycra and spin kicking was at its height of popularity in soft, long-haired rock music. Meanwhile, Fonzie, can't believe we got the Fonz here. Hey, Fonseca Masis out of there, so we are heads up to this turn. It's this is one of the rounds where we take all the cards under 10 out the deck, just to try and spark things up a bit. So it's ace,
pinochle,
ace, king, queen with 2 diamonds. Escobar versus your boy Garg. Who was the last player where you kept shouting their name in an aggressive way?
Gears.
That was Gears. There he goes.
Garg.
We're going to quickly step away from our featured table to show you some sad people walking away from the game that they love. Poker is a harsh mistress. And this is Gustavo Echeverri Escruceria. I'm pretty sure that, welcome to Jurassic Park. He is out of there. No expense spared.
No expense.
That ice cream that he's off to have. There is Jason Kuhn up to about 270,000. Still second to our boy Igor. And there is Uri Reichenstein also out of the game. Some of the big names, some of the big stacks not surviving here beyond day 2. Back to our table. This chap's got a jaunty cat at a jaunty angle.
24, right?
Under the gun raise from Nadal. Now you're going to have to help me out here, Joe, because I'm just not super familiar with the guy's play. I must admit, I went to sit outside in the sunshine.
Garg?
And then it rained on me. No, as far as their tendencies thus far and who's, you know, I see an under the gun raise here and I'm thinking, is this guy a maniac? Is he tight as a...
I mean, we haven't seen him play a single hand yet, this guy, Andres Nadal Baluda.
So that's aces. Aces probably very, very likely.
Cuatro, cuatro.
So I guess it was aces.
Told you.
Yeah, Povak, I'm not really sure I agree with your analysis that Ryan Reiss put all the chips in because he's so much rich to fold.
Aquí. Ajá.
And your disagreement that queens against ace-king is not the same flip as queens against fours because it's 42% instead of 45%. I don't know. I'm not really going to... The 3% edge doesn't really do it for me. Doesn't get me fired up. It doesn't get the blood flowing to my nether regions.
Good job, because I don't want to spend too much time in a room with you in that state.
No, you really don't. I have money, Matt.
That's still not quite a good enough reason for me to be involved. Thompson Villa, it sounds like a lovely place to go with your family on holiday for 2 weeks. You will be sharing the pool area, but it is ultimately just private to you and your
We've
friends.
booked 6 days at the Thompson Villa.
We're going with the Johnsons. We went last
Yeah,
year. We got
Johnson.
on with them very well. Good, right. I think I'm sorted now. Hello to everyone shouting at me on Twitch. Nice to see you. Hello on Twitter. Don't forget, tag your tweets, PokerStars TV, if you want to chat with us via that medium. If you are wondering what Twitch is, then why not fire up a browser and go to www.twitch.tv/. It's like an eye that's fallen to its right, PokerStars. That's where you'll find us. Action's going to be on Felix Bleiker here. Being asked to elaborate about the free roll. The free roll will take place in an hour and 3/4. I can tell you that there's, I think currently 3 people registered for that, which would be me, Joe, and James, I'm at a guess.
I'm loving this multi-way pot action on Jake Cody. Will he take his pre-flop pot odds? Go 4 ways. Getting like 6 to 1. Yes, he won't. No.
Yes, he won't. Nicely. As Joe, we see there completely fool the audience. Totally drag them with you there. I didn't fall for it.
It's quite the ride being in my brain sometimes.
Fonseca Masis, 10,500. It ain't cheap.
It's just such a plus EV play from Jake Cody here to put in another bet. Everyone behind him, save for the original raiser, just flatted, you know? So, like, how good could their hands be if they're just flatting?
going to suggest the longer you stare at Jake Cody, the more you will fall in love with him. Be careful, he's like a man Medusa. As you won't turn to stone, your heart simply becomes more melty and marshmallow-like.
Medusa. I'm not really sure he's staring at Jake Cody. He seems to be
staring.
Just staring.
I really hope that in a minute, then I go, by the way, you know it's your turn. Like, what? I didn't know I thought I had four.
I thought it was on Jake.
While we're in this deep malaise, quick shout out to Smitty, says, hi Matt. But it seems like an age to you, but just 2 days ago for me. That's not true, is it? I don't think. Wasn't it 3 days ago that we finished the festival? I could be wrong. You're right, it was a very long day. Very, very long day. I have indeed recovered well. And again, thanks for being with me. It was quite nice to get some of our regulars bouncing. Unique opportunity to bounce from a festival to championship. Oh, all in. After a good 2¼ minutes thinking about it. Now, Nadal Baluta out of there.
Quick call from Jake. Insta call. Jake with 2 10s.
Ooh.
Fonseca Masis going a little crazy there with 2 7s. Think that Jake's going to be making a move there, I guess, some of the time. He's going to get some folds.
Yeah, kind of weird.
He would have had position on Jake had he called. But I guess, you know, it's tough to play 7s after the flop if you miss. But, you know, maybe he figures Jake's just picking on a spot a lot of the time and he's going to get folds. You kind of, like, destroy the value of your 7s when you play it that way. Yes, quite gross.
That's unfortunate. As you say, the thing is, Jake's going to do that sometimes just because it looks like a sweet spot to do it. But then, of course, the beauty of his game is sometimes he's going to have the goods. However, it has not gone so good this time round. Totally sucked out on the flop. Still 2 cards to reverse it. That's no good. Just 2 outs left in the deck for Mr. Jake Cody. He's not a player at risk.
As Dernster on Twitch says, it is always coming 7.
Yeah, I'd not thought of that. Obviously, you've got to add that to the equity. King on the end, no good for anybody, and Jake is going to have to hand over a chunk of chips. That gets Alberto up to 3rd in chips at our featured table. Top 3, 125,000, 134,000, 155,000 respectively. Fonseca, Masis, Garg, and Dimitrov.
Ice cream and Jakey Jake.
He will survive. He will survive.
As long as he knows how to love.
I know.
¿Eso significa algo, eh?
He'll stay alive.
¿Eso significa algo? ¿Algo?
There is a quick recap of the feature table. Jake down to 23,300, 19 bigs early in this level, so still an hour to recover before those 19 big blinds get reduced in actual equity value. And Alberto up in 3rd spot there, over 100 bigs.
Flavio's brought up a good point. At first, he was afraid. He was petrified.
Yeah, he did look that, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was probably wondering, how does he go on?
Without those chips
By his side,
yeah.
exactly. The things he plays, look, he's spent so many nights just wondering how he played that wrong.
Or how Fonseca did him wrong.
Yeah, but he grew strong.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was going to do the regional remix.
You're not allowed there.
I want techies. Is a little confused that there's a 3-bet with 10s, 4-bet all of them at 7s, and he's a little confused with a snap call at 10s. I think that the dwelling, the body language of the shover there with the 2 7s, you know, Jake just had a read. He just knew 10s were going to be in good shape there, and they were. Just a bad read on what was coming on the flop.
Yeah, if only he could improve that side of his game, he would be unstoppable. Incidentally, have you made notion of Nadal Beluda's magnetic glasses? Have you seen that? He's wearing them like a necklace, and they've got a little magnet in the middle.
Yeah,
So
I've seen those before. I didn't realize he had them.
Yeah, they're quite a good little solution for the short-sighted gent. Just a little top tip there. Obviously, I've got brand new eyes, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. But
I like pretty much anything that has magnets. I'm still like a child. Like if somebody has a really strong magnet, I'm like, oh, cool.
yeah, magnets are good. If you haven't got any magnets on them, do get some.
Put them right on your laptop. That's where I like to keep mine.
Or put them by your credit cards. Enjoyed the top of the show, by the way, Joe. I thought you were very funny. A lot of people might wonder why I joined the commentary booth area as we see the ace-5 demolished by the ace-10. No one managed to connect, but two strong cards. Is that as well as the fact that I like to sit in the comms booth for the top of the show, especially like the first day of a new venue, like just to get a bit of a feel, but also because I get like a little private show from Joe, because he like all of his little quips and gags he kind of delivers to me in a cheeky.
I always look over at Matt.
James is very business-like. His head down, he's in the screens, he's got his notes, and I'm just sort of hanging on a chair, and Joe like properly gives me the, hey, what about this guy? So I kind of just like it. I get a little kind of 10-minute, and I chuckle. He knows he'll get a chuckle out of me. It's just, I'm really here just for Joe, just to make him feel like.
Sometimes it's a joke. I think that only refers to like a conversation you and I have had.
Yeah.
Just the two of us.
And that's the funniest ones.
Right.
Because of the law. Thompson Vila. Booking now for next summer. Under the gun Reiss.
I mean, poker's getting huge in China. We could have some 5-year-old dealers. Cigarette hanging out of their mouths.
2600 is working its magic around the table. It looks like it's just Garg who's going to defend his big blind here.
You know what my biggest complaint is about the Thompson Villa is that the Monopoly is missing the Scotty dog.
Really?
And, yeah,
Someone's had that,
and Park Place just gone.
And in its place, there's like a clothes peg.
Wait, what do you guys call it? You don't call it Park Place. You call it
free parking.
No, what is the one, the second most expensive property?
Park Lane.
Park Lane, you guys call
Park
it.
Lane.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the other dark blue one is.
Mayfair, isn't it?
You're right, Mayfair. I haven't played Monopoly for a while. It's not one I go back to often. Since I discovered Hold'em, Monopoly seems somehow less impressive.
Godzilla75 on Twitch says Stapes is the best commentator. Thank you, Gordzilla. Excuse me, I read that wrong. Gordzilla. It's very kind.
I noticed you didn't read out the 62 preceding ones that said, I hate this guy.
No.
Reiss. 2-4.
2-4. We're going to learn. I've been in my Spanish translation. I've got a little tutorial app. I've just got to the point where it's taught me so many words, and it's very good. And then it suddenly said, now you must pay £40. And I'm like, what?
Oh, you've used up your free translations?
And I'd learned lo siento.
Well, Matt, I mean, I spent £40 just on Tinder super likes.
Right.
Since I got here, which is educational in and of itself.
So maybe if I actually do just spend the money to learn something. I thought, you know, all the time I sit playing Clash of Clans on my phone. If I could learn, if I spent that much time actually trying to learn a language, I probably could. And then I thought, well, why don't I do that then?
Because it's not as fun as watching cartoons kick each other.
Bingo. If I had your sound box, I'd go ding. But yeah, that's exactly the correct sentence that answers the question I posed. 52 minutes on the clock, boys and girls. Incidentally, 600, 1,200 are your blinds. An ante of 200 currently in play. There will be a break, the first break of the day after this level, and we will change to a new feature table.
Yeah, we couldn't.
Keep us company. Don't forget we're on twitch.tv/PokerStars. Also, keeping an eye on your tweets, hashtag PokerStarsTV. Hello also to Tony Alvarez was with us at the festival. Undersea Monkey. A bunch of you guys clearly have more time on your hands than I had imagined. People asking, why would you show that you folded an ace there? We had a lot of this at the festival in the Czech Republic, and I think some people, it's just they want you to know that they're not an easy pushover.
Yep.
Sometimes they want you to know that they're respecting you, or that, you know, I don't raise. I raised, and you've re-raised me, and I'm folding, but I've got an ace. So what it really says is, here, let me tell you everything about the kind of hands I play and how, while you remain a complete mystery to me. Lee Jones was, I mean, actually fell off his chair a couple of times because he's such a drama queen. He was queening up in quite extravagant style. At one point, I had to mute our mics and say that if he punched me one more time, I was going to like have him up for HR.
Oh, he was like striking you.
Mad. I was like, you keep touching me and I will kill you.
I'm going to appreciate those Lee Jones via satellite remotes way more now that I know he gets touchy in the booth.
He gets very, very punchy. If you're reading a Skype when something happens, even if it's just like Elke is paired with the flop, he will punch you in the arm or grab you by the thigh. My femur is black and blue. So it's a check from Fonseca Masis.
But the point of that story is that Lee Jones loses his you-know-what whenever someone shows, right? He hates that.
Even after like 16 hours of non-stop broadcasting with like a 10-minute break every 2 hours, he is still pumped. It's ridiculous.
Now, why would you show?
It was.
You're giving your opponent information.
He was very angry about it. A raise here. This is lovely stuff. So the bet was 2,000.
I love a turn raise.
Are we saying Bleiker or Bleiker?
We're saying Bleiker.
Bleiker, okay. And then
that's a big raise.
Yeah, from 2 to the 7-5. 5,500 to call with 17-3 in the pot up for grabs.
What are you raising with here? So went check on the flop. I mean, Fonseca can have anything here.
Yeah. And I guess either that's the case, is that he's just connected, or he's using the fact that when you look at him, you go, he could have that, he could have something.
Yeah, I mean, he could have it, and also, you know, there was no continuation bet on the flop, so, you know, he probably expects his opponent to have missed a lot.
Tell you news from the outer tables. Don't forget instantly, as I mentioned it, do check out the PokerStarsblog.com or just follow the guys on Twitter. Not just chip counts and updates, but lots of interviews and features and whatnot. There is one female standing. It's funny, actually, before I came into the booth, I did do a one. I'm about to say the sentence, I did go looking for women in Panama. But by that, I mean, I took a walk around the tournament area.
Did you just accidentally be too honest with the audience?
Well, I'm hoping that they now allow me to modify it to suggest that I was actually just walking around the tournament area, seeing how many female players were left. And I thought I only saw one. It looks like I was wrong, because updates are that there is just one lady left, Jessica Perez Borrego.
2.800 no puede ser. ¿Por qué?
The last woman standing would technically be the last woman to be eliminated from the tournament.
Well, yeah.
Last woman sitting. Oh, we got some controversy. Judge Smales here.
Trying to work out what it is here. It was under the gun. Dalbaluda made it 2,400.
That was 22, then she said 24. And then
that's why I asked in Spanish to see what you actually.
I think there's just some general confusion.
Too much.
Just making sure. Actually, confusion is probably a bit harsh. It's more just about confirmation.
Ahora estaba yo asustado, digo, hostia, ¿qué habré hecho? No, pero es que ellos entendieron 2.200. No, 2.8. Yo sí oí el 2.8.
I'm pretty sure that if we instigated the English only at the table, it would be some of the most hilarious table chat ever.
I've heard officially both Spanish and English can fly.
No drinking.
That seems sensible to me.
Seems fair, yeah.
I think that's pretty sensible.
You're not allowed to drink water at this table.
no eating, no
Only agua.
no massage.
No folding.
Here. bright lights. Killing me so hot. I need a fan.
Can't have a fan that the cards would go everywhere. Do you remember when people, maybe a decade ago, thought it'd be really exotic to do outdoor poker tournaments?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I went to one in Aruba and they had this device where it was like this kind of glass block where when they
slide the cards into
they had to
right?
slide the flop underneath it, and then everyone would look at their cards and then they'd lean back to think about what to do in the cards. We'd just be off into the ocean. They go, I guess I fold.
I had aces, pretty sure.
But they've gone now.
I think I was at that Aruba tournament. Ultimate Bet?
Yeah, where they had the blackjack thing being launched as well.
Yeah, I went. Oh, yeah, the Ultimate Blackjack Tour. Yeah, I was definitely at that Aruba.
Man, that's so funny to think we were there together.
That always used to happen on my birthday. And 1 year, Liv organized this massive dinner. I think it was at the Hard Rock in Aruba for my birthday. And it was like one of the best birthdays of my life. I think it was Liv and Lacey Jones, and we ended up going into the ocean. Everyone like stripped down and ran into the water.
That was that. I spent so much time bobbing, and I managed to get this thing where I could drink a beer out of a bottle to the perfect level, where if I just let it drop in the sea, it would just float next to me.
Really?
And it was I just perfected over 600 bottles of beer. Anyway, we should probably pick this one up. So Mr. Stephen Thompson Vila raised it 2,500. Got a call in 2 spots pre-flop. It was a continuation from Thompson Vila to 3,400, a fold from Dimitrov, and then Nadal Beluda raised to 10K, and then a re-raise. And that's where we find ourselves. I don't know if people are picking on the old guy, but watch out, he's got magnets. 17,000, there's 36K in the pot. Have you had any of Nadal's gorgeous caviar? He leaves it behind him when he moves from one seat to the next. If you're getting quickly, you can just leaves a small Beluda deposit that is very rare. Quite salty, but delicious.
Well, let's hope that he has many table changes so we all may feast on the Beluda caviar.
Again, he just called pre-flop. He check raised. The old guys love a bit of the check raising. It's like makes him feel like a cowboy. Check raised and was immediately 3-bet. Thompson Vila telling a very convincing story of strength right now.
I mean, how strong could Thompson Vila be here? The only hand he can really have is a set that he could be.
Overpair? I mean, I don't really know. The problem is, it's like anything. A good player is going to open with so many. I mean, who knows?
I don't love a 3-bet here with an overpair, because when this guy, Nadal Beluda, when he raises, right, his perceived image is going to be tight. Old Spanish guy, right?
Unless it's a monster. Unless it's a monster, and this is how you go about trapping the old guys with a really good hand when you've got the absolute monsters. Like, or as you say, he just raised out with a pocket pair and he's turned into a set.
I mean, this is all in or fold for Nadal Beluda, and if he does anything other than those 2 moves, I have serious doubts about what hand he's getting involved with.
And there it is. Los triángulos dos.
Yeah, and Thompson Vila is never going to fold. 6-7, 2-pair.
Against the power
3s for Nadal. Yeah, okay. Well,
I know.
Well, maybe that's a monster in Nadal Beluda's.
I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot more people in Panama next year for this tournament.
Because of the magnets drawing players across the seas.
If a 5 peels off, there's going to be enough caviar for everyone.
20% chance of sticking around. That has been reduced to 14%. I'm just reading out the numbers on the screen. I don't really understand.
I mean, well done by Thompson Vila to know that 2-pair was going to be good there to get it all in.
Well, he's a nice chap, and quickly send someone down to the chair. Just scoop up the precious eggs that he's left behind.
Was Thompson Vila the original raiser with 7-6 off also? He was.
Yeah. So he just got this whole thing going. I love how he responded to the check raise. Just somehow knew that his opponent was going to give him a load of value with the under pair. I wonder whether because maybe Nadal Beluda had been like a little bit bullied and he thought these guys have just mistakenly spotted me for the weak player and I've got a pair here.
People doesn't like you to be boring at the table.
Yeah. I can get water as well, please.
There's one thing that Nadal Beluda can say is that he did not get bluffed. I mean, that's really all you can do there is you go, I'm not going to let this whippersnapper bluff me.
People wondering whether he thought his EV was decent with the inside straight. Meanwhile, a lot of other people just totally obsessed with the dealer. Well, as long as you're enjoying the broadcast, it's not really...
we don't care.
It's not really why we were here.
Play on PokerStars.
Good evening to Peter Blow, one of our regs on Twitter. Don't forget, hashtag PokerStarsTV. I know the younger generation all about Twitch, but some of us prefer the slower, more controllable pace of Twitter. God, I remember when we were just thinking about should we abandon faxes because email was really getting popular.
2008, 2.8. That's 2008. I'm still celebrating in my head the double out.
Bit of Davide Katai at the bottom of your screen there. Who's the hunk in the wife beater? Boys and girls, we have an announcement to make regarding the prize pool, which is going to be delivered by the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Luca Vivaldi. So we're just going to step away from our featured table with 40 minutes still on the clock. And let's see exactly how things have worked out here at the PokerStars Championship in Panama.
Attention players, in the PokerStars Championship main event here in Panama, we're just confirming prize pool with a total of 366 players, generating a total prize pool of $1,775,100. We're going to pay 71 spots, with the 71st player finisher receiving $7,720. And the winner of this PokerStars Championship Panama main event will take home $293,860. Best of luck, everyone.
So there you are. It was ultimately full entries, 366, a total prize pool of $1.75 million. The winner going to get $293,860. 71 is the first payout. Our bubble is set.
Cha-ching!
Where's all your boxes? Did they make it?
My boxes didn't make it. They're hung up in the canal.
I was just about to pick up that hand and then it was over. So there you are. It's a visual medium.
You saw it.
So again, first payout, 71st, $7,720. 132 left. So we've got, remind me, 5 or 4 levels in total today? 4. So we are currently in the second. We're halfway through the day, everyone. You can start putting your pajamas on.
You good?
Hey, Mike. I've never been to Macau.
Thank you.
No, gracias. Just a second. Wait a second.
Garg first to act. It feels like that shirt should be much furrier than it probably is. It's probably silky, but it kind of feels like you could go and, if you stroked it in one way, the pattern would change, and then you stroke it back again. You know, like those irresistible sofas
or
that you end up writing your name in.
So under the gun raise from Garg. And under the gun +1 re-raise from Thompson via Vila.
Yeah, you need a couple of L's before you start getting all yay. Oh, and just put your chips a little bit closer. Gonna take a look at this. So pretty early position players under the gun and under the gun +1. 7, 10, 3, all spades, 13,000 in the middle.
Check on the flop. You'd expect these to be two pretty strong hands, Thompson Vila especially. You know, like Garg can be messing around with an under the gun raise sometimes, but when you are flatting or 3-betting, excuse me, an under the gun raise, you tend to have a pretty strong hand. Delayed. Well, not really delayed anything. Just the lead out from Garg. Gets called. Queen on the river.
$28,000. Garg, of course, was the original under the gun raiser. Thompson Vila, which now comes with free shuttle service to and from the airport, worth mentioning. Working it all out, Joe, in case you're wondering what is all that mouth moves about.
It's a weird, this has been a very bizarre hand. Thompson Vila was the aggressor, the original pre-flop betting leader. Did not continue the flop. Then it was Garg who bet the turn for half pot, a little over half pot. Now Garg's betting river as well.
Sounded like a reluctant call.
Yeah, we're going to see a showdown. We get a wow and a muck from Thompson. Aces for Garg.
Really curious to know exactly what Thompson Vila had to convince him to make that call at the end. I think he maybe thought he was going to make a hero call against maybe the bluff trying to represent the queen.
Ace queen maybe.
We are going to step away again as we say goodbye to our dealer, because we find out that our superhero, Tito Ortiz, is in action on one of the outer tables against Jose Gonzalez and Gonzalo de Alzaga. Tito has bet. Our friend in the blue shirt, Gonzalo de Alzaga, is now all in. And the board, I can tell you, is showing ace deuce 9-5-5. So the action here on Jose Gonzalez with his Another man who loves a bit of gadgetry on his ears and eyes.
Is this guy one of those dudes that refuses to make change for other people? Why all the black and red chips?
Makes the call.
Showdown. Ace queen for Tito.
2 pair.
Queen 8 for a pair and 9s for a boat.
Wow. What he said.
Queen 8 is out of here. That's Gonzalo de Alzaga. This is very confusing. Jose Gonzalez, Gonzalo de Alzaga. And that was a little bit of a slow roll there from the 2-9. I think that if I were gonna slow roll, Tito Ortiz would not be high on my list of people I would do it to.
Like the old guy that leaves eggs behind. Slow roll him.
Just do it.
The enormous guy who could like squeeze your skull to dust with one arm.
But probably wouldn't.
He's a lovely guy. This sounds like an all-in announce from Jake Cody in the seat 1. All in for his last 16,300, and that is on the up and down draw. Up against Bleiker's. Oh, he's got a pretty hand. Big slick. Just having a sip of tea. Remember, you're British, yeah.
It's just a prop to keep him crying.
The hopes of a nation for a 9 or an ace.
That's helpful for Bleiker.
Yeah, why not remove some of your heart outs? So the 3 non-heart 9s, the 3 non-heart aces. 14% chance, and that is a complete whiff. And we are going to lose Jake Cody from the United Kingdom from this championship main event. He is eliminated.
Well, the bad news, other than being out of the tournament, is that Jake spent more time getting here than he did sitting at the table.
Yeah, but look where he is.
The good news is that this is a festival, and there's lots of other tournaments to play. I'm sure there's going to be 5Ks and double, triple Survivor, moon tournaments.
Hey.
Wasted no time at filling that seat with a handsome chap. Luis Duarte.
Luis Duarte. Yep, he's not got a lot of chips with him. He's got about 19. Oh, no, excuse me. That has just changed. I was about to read out something completely
He's doing all right.
He's doing okay. Turns out he hasn't got 16 big blinds. He's actually got 77. 93,400 for Luis, our new player. Clearly got the memo about wearing the grey speckled outfit. I'll let this one go. Escobar on the button does not want to try and steal it. Blind on blind. Garg.
I've been trying to get to this tweet for a while. Rob on Twitter says to me, player A raises, player B raises. It's not a re-raise, it's just a raise. If player A raises again, then it's a re-raise. Any reason to think that we have been doing this wrong for hundreds of hours?
No, I mean, I never doubt myself, even when presented with video evidence.
Yeah, I don't know what you're saying, Rob.
Maybe he's answering somebody else?
Maybe.
Check, check, post flop incidentally with a 4-3 deuce double diamond. Now the 10 of clubs, and Garg feeling a bit more bold. And Thompson finds the fold. And Garg doing pretty good. Top of our featured table with 166,600, equivalent of 138 big blinds. 27 minutes on the clock before the first break of the day.
You can watch there.
And we will, after that break, come back for the third of 4 levels we'll play through today.
I don't know how much delay.
When you get your cards,
Oh, someone's learning how to be on the TV table.
That's nice.
No delay.
No delay, but we're not showing anything.
No hole cards.
Very important to make sure people are aware of that, because you don't want to put pressure on them when there's no need. Also remind you that in a little over an hour, the free roll, the first free roll here from the Championship Panama starts. Last time I looked, there was about 15,000 signed up. Yep, it's closing in on 16,000. Password, top left of your screen, Balboa. Balboa. B-A-L-B-O-A. Please do join us. And bounties.
Bounty, bounty, bounty. Come
Bounty,
get some.
bounty. I'm called Waster. Remind me you're just Joe Stapleton. And James is J. Hartigan. Come find us. Come play with us. Come have some fun.
Who do you think would win in a fight? Rocky Balboa or Tito Ortiz?
Tito. Not even really a question worth asking.
You're going to get all the Tito you can eato after the break. Confirmed.
Yep. We can tell you that in 25 minutes and 1 break's worth. How long are the breaks in Cincy? 20 minutes I'm taking usual? Yep, 20 minutes. So in 45 minutes we will be back with our third level, a new feature table featuring Tito Ortiz. Started the day one of the top chip stacks in the tournament. Loves the game, knows his onions, and would break you like a paper stick. Check to Garg. Garg bet 11,000. Back round to Dimitrov. He raises under the gun. Make of that what you will, but with a king high flop and now a second club, 42,200 to fight over. Check back to Garg, who wants to know what Dimitrov's playing with. One of the top 3 stacks at our feature table. Got a considered face on. Checks it back.
I think that the PokerStars Championship Panama is going to create a brand new star in Lokesh Garg.
Wow.
It's going to be Cody, Elke, Marrero de Melo, Garg.
Garg. Insert coin. Opportunity knocks for the Garg. Can we call him the Garg?
I like the Garg.
The Garg. Release the Garg.
No queens.
Yeah, me too. No, I don't. Sorry, I haven't got any cards whatsoever. That was a slow roll. Queens are going to be good. You hate the king. No reason to get funky. It wasn't under the gun raise, of course, from Dimitrov. Let's not forget so.
Rob's back. Re-raise means you've raised already that street and are doing it again. You can't redo something that you haven't already done, IMO. Well, Rob, in your MO, I find it baffling that you would try to correct something that's literally been done, talked about this way for 30 years.
Easily.
Easily. So, I don't know, man. It's weird.
I mean, do you know what? As I get older, I find that if I just look at people and go, okay,
all right, you just say,
I
okay,
can get on with my day. I don't care whether they agree with me or not, and just try it. Like the next time James is telling you something, and you know it's like there's a good 30-minute of argument to be had, just look him in the eyes and go, okay, he'll be happy. You don't care. You can go on with your life.
That's a great approach.
The wife's never been a fan of that. She goes, you're just saying okay, but you don't mean it, do you? And I go, no. Can I go now? So you have to do it.
How are you not murdered?
You don't know the truth, Joe. No one knows the truth. This one, incidentally, raised up by the Garg. 2,800 called by Dimitrov. So these boys going out again. Slightly different dynamic now. It's big blind defense against the cutoff. Queen, queen, 9. He hasn't got the queens this time, I'm assuming. Check, check. Second heart, the 6 on the turn. Dimitrov looks slightly pained. $3,500 to call, and Dimitrov, though not looking super chuffed, coming along for the ride. Did defend his blind. Who knows what he's holding? Check back to the Garg. Checks also.
Oh.
Power pocket deuces. Oh, filthy. Filthy turn, but good news for the Garg, who just somehow knew. Just somehow knew.
This bit's going to be great for my hydration levels.
Yeah, do you know what? Your skin is looking better than I've ever seen it. So we're going to step once again away from our featured table because, as hinted, in 20 minutes there's a break, and then after the 20-minute break we will come back to a new featured table. And the man who is about to attractively appear in the middle of your screen is going to be the hero of our new featured table. We're going to bring Tito up to the big table. We also know that we have Jose Gonzalez on that table from the previous hand we covered. We will learn more about our other players. I'm not sure about those sunglasses. Really not sure.
I'm sure about them. I'm sure they're terrible.
But we are going to... I recognize that shirt. I recognize that white shirt with the little some suches on it. Find out who all these guys are when we bring them up under the spotlight in about 40 minutes' time. I've got to be honest, I'm selfish. I'll be sad to lose this table. I'm quite
I like the table. I like Garg.
I like Garg. I like the pace. I like Thompson Vila. Some of my happiest memories last summer there. From Bleiker. Under the gun. Not entirely sure who this is being called by. We're just catching up on the GFX.
Fonseca Masis.
Fonseca Masis. Do you think even if we took the microphone off his shirt, it would still be that low cut? They're very sexy.
It would just go whoop and come back up to a normal neckline.
Could be. They do dress super sexy out here. It is a thrilling board. Ace, King, 10, Jack with 2 spades, but nobody wants to put any more chips into this. Third spade on the river. But still no action. Check, check.
Friendly table, friendly poker.
Pocket 8s. I mean, oh yeah. Well, it's both the cards you love to see and the cards you hate to see. You improve, but immediately fear the worst. And that's why there was no more betting. How much of a bounty have you got in your head in the free roll this time?
In the free roll, is there a bounty?
I believe so. Because we're not doing the bounty bonus.
I think it's $100.
$100. They put 600 on me because I'm so much more.
600?
People were just like avoiding me because they feared me. That, incidentally, I should immediately say as a lie. $100 on J. Hartigan, Joe Stapleton, Waster. Do please come and join us in the free roll. If you're trying to find it, my top tip is to simply go to the tournaments and in the search box put the word TV. Just put TV. Don't spell it out, just the letters TV. Very economical, and you will see all of the games that are planned for this week.
Me and Matt and James are each worth $100, or as it's called here in Panama, an around the world.
A ruddy good night. I like to think I'm the first person that's used the word ruddy on a PokerStars.
You could very well be.
The Garg at it again, hydrating us. Beyond measure. You're going to want to get a soundboard for that. Otherwise, you're going to need the gents as often as.
What's the line on how many times it'll take me before I choke?
Well, the good news is as long as you don't die within the next 17 minutes, you're safe. A raise from the Garg. Mr. Stephen Thompson Vila makes it. He just calls it, excuse me, it is Dimitrov who has raised it up to 9,700. 9,700, 9.7K, however you want to say it. It's still the same.
It's still big, by the way. Big 3-bet.
Yeah.
Now, there are 2 players involved in the hand already. So that's one reason to make it a little bit bigger. But Dimitrov is in position. So it's one reason why you wouldn't make it so big. Rob has gotten back in touch one more time, to which I'm just going to say, okay.
There you are. See? Dispute over. Garg. Coming along for the ride. Thompson Vila. He has folded up his deck chairs. Oh, excuse me. It was a 4-bet.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's why it was an extra Garg happening.
Right. Sorry. I saw the action. I lazily didn't bother looking at the chips.
Didn't you hear the?
Yeah, you might want to give that a rest.
Action on your boy, Jairo Escobar.
Reiss 20.
Garg, his VPIP must be through the roof. Keep him busy with those.
He seemed to have had it pretty much every time except for one. The first hand we saw him play, he got looked up and didn't have it.
3-bet from Thompson Vila makes it 5,600. I mean, this is an under the gun +1 versus an under the gun +2. I feel that perhaps position no longer relevant the way these guys have been playing. They just love the play.
Position hasn't made it to Central America yet.
Oh, that book yet to be translated. So here comes the flop. 14,600 in the middle. Ace high. Ace, Jack 8, rainbow. Check from the Garg, a bet from Thompson Vila, a call from the Garg, 23,400 in the middle as the 9 of spades lands. Oh, Garg wants to have a look. Check, check. Way. Hello.
That's a straighty board.
A moist 10 drops on the river. It's either there for the taking or there for the walking into a trap of. So 23,400. The bet is 7-4.
Yeah, I like Thompson Vila for backing his way into a straight.
It's just so believable, isn't it?
What's he 3-betting with that has a queen in it, though, that can't keep betting on the turn? 2 queens.
I think he's saying exactly the same thing as you, going through the process.
queen something. All right, one time.
One time, he says, which I'm pretty sure is a lie. I'm disappointed. Oh, and what do we get to see? What do we get to see?
A deuce? What is that?
Nice bluff.
It's a little card, I think.
I think you're right.
Obviously.
So that's a tiny dent for Garg.
How many do that?
We got nothing but massive stacks unless you're Escobar. The second shortest stack at this table right now, holding 59 big blinds, all the way up to 168 for Lokesh Garg. You can see it's just Escobar hanging on, and he's going to have to do something in the next 11 minutes because there'll be a break and then the blinds will be up. Right now we're still at 600, 1200, 200 ante. Being asked the same old question, but we will answer. No hole cards, no. Not until our final day of broadcast on Monday. We are 100% live coming to you. And then on Monday we will do our usual thing where we will set up all the curtains, get the guard dogs out, up the security, and bring you
the really long cable too.
Really long cable. Takes ages to get that going. You turn it on at one end and then like you're looking down the end of the other, just waiting, and then the pictures come. Reiss from Aleks Dimitrov. Hello to 99 Jack 99. Says hi, media person of the year, Joe and Matt. Hi. Just home from. I'm Matt of the year. Says how's it going? It's going very well. We've got a nice little feature table here, and we've got a brand new one for you in 10 minutes plus 20 break. 3-bet to 10K from Bleiker.
Dimitrov, yeah. He's on board. He's in position. We're going to play a bloated 3-bet pot.
Yeah, small blind 3-bet.
Dry board. You got to do it. Like, you got to support the troops. You got to c-bet this flop.
You can't come out of the small blind with a 3-bet to just check it at this phase. And that's exactly what Felix Bleiker is going to do.
Colorblind dude notices huge 3-bet sizing.
Oh, yeah.
My guess is we're going to see a small continuation bet. That's exactly what we did see.
Yeah.
This c-bet is less than a third the size of the pot.
Yeah, a lot of the players compensating for the lack of position with the bigger bet sizing choices.
That huge pre-flop 3-bet to me says a hand that you know you should be 3-betting, but you don't really want to get called with. Something like 10s or jacks.
I was going to say it's classic jack.
Classic reeks
jack.
of jacks is what we used to say. That 3-bet reeks of jacks. The small continuation bet, although standard in a big 3-bet pot like that, also continues to tell the story of jacks. Is that the prizes?
That is the prizes. I think we should just work off one.
Yeah.
And we'll do our usual thing of modifying it as we go. That's good news for you boys and girls at home. We have just been handed the list of things we can give away. I gave away some stuff in the PokerStars Festival Rosvadov, but I actually had some stuff left over, so I'm going to make sure that we profit from that. And ultimately that one goes in the way of Bleiker. And he jumps up. He is sitting one of only 3 players now over 100,000. He's got just shy of 110,000. Fonseca, Masis, 150,000. And the Garg over 200,000. 7 minutes left on the level. You can see it is still Jairo Escobar, the shortest stack at the table.
Arnold fella on Twitch says, "Story of Jax still better than the story of Twilight." You know, I did watch the first Twilight movie because it's like, hey, it's like there's an epic battle between vampires and werewolves, and you're like, yeah, I'm in. Sign me up. And then you watch and you're like, nah, this is a trick.
No, this is dreadful. Yeah, this is just dreadful. I watched it. I didn't really even. I kind of knew what it was about, but I wasn't lured by that because, like I haven't seen enough werewolves versus vampires, being a True Blood kind of guy. But I thought culturally, it's like watching La La Land. I thought, you know what? I got to see it because I need to have an opinion of this. And Twilight was like, oh my god. And I'd seen these documentaries about these women that just like lived their entire lives to it. They had all tattoos about Twilight. They had shrines. Their whole house was, wow. I mean, each their own. I like Iron Man. What can I say?
It just shows to go you that there needs to be more stuff out there for women.
27.
Because some of it's going to be good eventually.
Feels like there should be more in everybody's lives, but that is a real hole just waiting to be properly filled. Which I know is like red rag to a ball.
Yeah, I'm just going to...
Just leave that there.
No sound effects. Boing. I'm going to have to Michael Winslow it this week. Oh, my helicopter's coming to get me.
Oh, God.
You hear that?
Yeah, that's really convincing.
Okay, gotta go.
Wow, it's really eerie.
Nah, I'm still here.
Oh,
Joe,
do you know what? I wasn't looking and I thought a helicopter. Honestly, there was this sound and it was just like a helicopter.
Yeah.
Mr. Ricardo Ramos in the 1 seat has raised it to 2,700, being called in 2 spots. Escobar, the short stack, which is alarm bells ringing, and the Garg, who is a monster. But after the Queen High Rainbow flop and the short stack Escobar getting 4,300 of his chips in, it's on Ramos to call. Gotta know your opponents and their chip stacks. Nice hat. Thank you for supporting the cause. Escobar gets himself out of the murk a touch, up to 25 big blinds, 5 minutes on the level. Again, just to remind you, after this level, the first break of the day, that will take 20 minutes, and then we will have a brand new feature table.
Your table back downstairs, table 4. So you got nothing to do, we will manage it for you. And after the break, you can just come straight.
No!
There you are.
I would refuse.
I like it here. It's so bright. This man left eggs on my chair when he went. So as you heard there, we crashed into each other saying much the same thing. This table moves back out into the field, and Tito Ortiz, Jose Gonzalez, and their friends, brackets, we don't know who they are, but we will find out, brackets, will be joining us up under the bright lights. Ricardo Ramos out of there. Action on Felix Bleiker. In the cutoff, just too good to be true. Button is out, small blind is out. Just the big blind of Stephen Thompson Vila to get through. He is going to look him up. Defend thy biggest blind. Ace 4, 3, 2 diamonds, fast check. I'm loving the pace of this game. Let us hope that that's what everybody here is going to be giving us. Speedy, thoughtful, aggressive play.
On cue.
12,200 now with a Queen of Hearts on the turn. Check, check. Things slowing down a bit, and now a jack, a third diamond. Perhaps not importantly, but who knows?
You know, in my original home game, I used to play with these 2 brothers. They were twins, and they were so notoriously soft play each other that one time, one of them was dealing. You know, the deal goes around the table.
Yeah.
And he just dealt out the entire board. Just knowing that they were just going to check it down against each other. Didn't even bother. Just dealt it out.
Flop, check, burn, turn, burn. Well done, bro. Well played. That one was an interesting one. In the end, hats off to Stephen Thompson. Vila did have a go. He tried to steal it on the river, got called, didn't even bother showing, just mucked him. The annoying thing is it means that Felix obviously got to just muck and win, so we learnt nothing about anybody. Quick shout before the break. Do get involved in our free roll. Remember, excuse me, to find it, head to the tournament section of the lobby. Make sure your filters are off. That's very key. And then in the little search window, just put TV. And you will see in 40 minutes our first free roll of the championship here in Panama. Bounties on myself, Joe and James. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I forgot to actually look at how many people are in this. Oh, nearly 18,000 now. That's nice.
Folded around to the blinds. Thompson Vila limps in. And a check from Fonseca Masis. You don't expect anyone to have connected super hard with this flop, considering it went limp check. Check, check on the flop. Thompson taking a stab. Fonseca calling. Fourth heart on the river. It goes check, check, and is that a 4 of hearts going to be good? It is.
Wow.
So the semi-bluff with the 4 high flush draw gets paid and gets there.
I got a feeling we might be seeing some more of Stephen Thompson Vila later on in this tournament because he is full of moves. As you hear, break being announced. Before we say goodbye to this feature table, we will take a look at how their stacks ended up. A super session for Lokesh. Garg.
Yeah.
Not so good for Escobar. This is how it looks. So it's 18 big blinds. We're going to go up to 800, 1600, 200 ante after the 20-minute break. Garg doing very well. Just shy of 200,000 by the end of the level. But it's a 20-minute break for the players and for me and Joe. But join us after for more action here from the PokerStars Championship.